brother in business. Thank you, Dios, for the scripture reading. The title of my lesson is The Sons of God. It takes me a long time to put together a lesson. Maybe that's the way I am. But I'd like to thank Earl for giving us a break the last 2 Sundays. We did a prayer, and now we play a song, practice song. So I have a break from the book of Romans. Thank you all for buying me time. So I had time to do this. As always, every time I do a lesson here, it's part of my learning, and hopefully yours as well. So if you find it's a different topic I bring all the time, so it's just a part of my learning. Hopefully yours. Now I'll skip this because we've read through this, and I'll just get straight to the. I'll just read verse 8. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. I'll just read that for you. Now, the sons of God. In the Bible, there were 2 classes of the sons of God. One is mentioned in the Old Testament, as you all know, and the other is mentioned in the New Testament, maybe a different phrase, but it's same meaning. The sons of God married the daughters of men. When human beings, I'll try to stay on the outline so that it's easier for the translation. When human beings began to increase in number in the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. And there are 2 characters in those verses. The human beings, being the daughters of human beings, and the sons of God, the spiritual beings, who are fallen angels with inhuman strength. They can pick and choose as they please themselves who to marry, because I guess they have natural strength, and they overpower the human beings. And who are the sons of God in the Old Testament? Some say they are angels. Some say they are fallen angels like Satan. Some say they are the descendants of Seth, Adam and Eve's 3rd son. Some say they are rulers claiming to be divine beings. Or were they really and truly angels who followed Satan in his rebellion against God? As we know, Satan already existed in the Garden of Eden, disguised as a serpent. God created him as a good angel. In Genesis 1, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. So when God created everything, it was very good. The sons of God are spiritual beings, as I say, who are fallen angels. Job, I'll read this to you. One day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. The Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." So God asked that question, where you come from? And they present themselves before God to give an account. Whoever they are, fallen angels, evil spirits, demons, and clean spirits are roaming the earth right now to tell people to do wrong. You better believe that. Sometimes, you hear people say, "Oh, the devil made me do it." There's a little truth in that, but it's a choice, really. And Job 2, on another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present themselves before men, for him. And the Lord said, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." So clearly, Satan and his fallen angels and the rest are not in God's presence. They roam the earth. The angels, these are now angels, when I say, angels warn people, help people, comfort people, and deliver message, deliver judgment to people sent from God. In Hebrews 1:14, are all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. Us, it's talking about us. In Job 38:7, while the morning stars sang together, these are the angels, and all the angels started for joy. This the conversation between the context of this is when God asked Job, "Where were you when I created the foundations of the earth?" And then this goes, Job 38:7. In Luke 15:10, in the same way I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of angels of God over one sinner who repents. We know angels are always in God's presence, serving Him daily. God sometimes sends angels to help people, warn people, or deliver a message and comfort, as I said before. But the question is, how can fallen angels of the sons of God marry human beings? How? And the answer is, fallen angels, being evil, angels can take on many forms by way of possessing and occupying human beings or animals. They can take on any forms, like the serpent in the Garden of Eden, we know that. In Mark chapter 5, a man possessed by a legion of demons. And another in Matthew 8, 2 men possessed by demons. Jesus said in Matthew 22:30, at the resurrection, people will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. Angels in heaven, because. But if this is so, how can angels or sons of God marry human beings in Genesis 6:2? The answer is because the fallen angels abandoned their proper dwelling. That's why they fell from grace. In Jude 1:6, and the angels who did not keep their possessions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwellings. Where is the proper dwellings? In heaven, in God's presence. They abandoned God. They followed Satan. There they escape in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. Now going back to Mark 5, they are very strong. People, men possessed by evil spirits, they're very strong. They're unstoppable. In this case, no one was strong enough to subdue the man possessed, break the chains, and bound him, but still they break them apart, even the irons. So they were strong because of the evil spirits within, or the devil. And the same is when Jesus asked the devil, what is your name? My name is Legion. A legion is 5,000 to 6,000 people in the Roman army. Is that correct, Mark? Is that correct? Roundabout, yeah. Yeah, thanks. They see here, they beg Jesus to send them to occupy 2,000 pigs and not to send him out of the area, because the devil, once they get out of that possession, they go to the abyss, which is the reserved for eternal judgment on the judgment day. The characteristics of the fallen angels: they can also talk, they can tempt people to sin, they rule this world, as Paul says. They can occupy human beings and animals. They possess in human strength. They can also enter someone's heart. Judas, John 13:27. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. And as I said to you, there's a little truth to when people say, oh, the devil made me do it. This is what it is. And The same in Luke chapter 22, verse 3. Revelations 12, 7 to 9. The war in heaven. Why is Satan on earth now? The war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon, this is the devil, and his angels fought back. So there was war, spiritual war. But he was not strong enough, the devil. And they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil of Satan, who leads the world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. That's why we have the fallen angels in this topic. They lost their place in heaven. Maybe the war in heaven happened after creation, or maybe before Adam and Eve's temptation by Satan. Who knows? Who knows? But God said all creation was good. Now in 1 Peter 5, verse 8, it says, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. So they're here. If we're not careful, then we get taken in. But thank God we have God and angels to protect us. Angels can take a human form. Some examples in the Old Testament I give you there. When Saul disobeyed God, an evil spirit, God allowed an evil spirit to annoy him. And also King Saul consulted the witch of Endor. And Saul got desperate. He got no one to turn to. He got desperate. Samuel the prophet was dead. The priest to consult about God, there's no one left because he had been killed, 85 of them, and including the chief priest Ahimelech. Only one survived, and that was his son Abiathar. But he fled to King David, so Saul got no one to intercede for him to God. So, but we don't come back from the dead. When we're dead, we're just dead. You know, no one comes back from the grave until the resurrection day of judgment. Now, there's another here in the Old Testament. An angel appeared to Hagar, and Manoah and his wife, Samson's parents to be, and Elijah. He got visited by the angel 3 times to comfort him. And Lot and the angels in human form, we know that, I'll read this to you. The 2 angels arrived at Sodom in the evening. Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. They called to Lot, where are the men who came to you tonight? So the angels took the appearance of men sent by God to save Lot before God destroys Sodom and Gomorrah. Everyone knows that story. Even children knows that story about Sodom and Gomorrah. And, but Lot was a good man. He invited the men, this guy, who were angels. But men who around Sodom, they were evil. So they tried to force their way in Lot's house, but to harm them. But the angels, with their power, they blinded them. Jesus was tempted by the devil, and the angels came and attended to him. And when he prayed in anguish, that his sweat was like drops of blood flowing to the ground. And the angels comforted him. They came and comforted him. In Luke chapter 1, Gabriel appeared before Zechariah, and he said, I stand in the presence of God. See, angels stand in the presence of God when he announced himself to Zechariah. He also appeared to Mary and to Joseph, Mary's husband. And also, when the birth of Jesus was announced, the angel appeared to the shepherds and also Cornelius, to mention him as well. And to Peter, when he was in prison, the angels got him out. But it's one of the things that really is a mystery to me. Showing and giving kindness to strangers. Hebrews 30, verse 2. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. You better believe it. Sometimes you don't know that when some strangers you give kindness to are angels from God. You'll never know. Or you show kindness to someone, you know, is an angel in disguise as your friend needing help. And they all appear to you as human beings. We will never know. Only God can know. So here it's always good to show kindness because you never know who you show kindness to. Angels can also be invisible. The story of Balaam about the angel, and the story here is Balak, the king of Moab, hired Balaam. Balaam wasn't a prophet. He was what you call a sorcerer for hire, but he knows God at the same time. But God used him to protect Israel from the king of Moab. He was he was riding his donkey, and then the angels blocking his path, standing on the road, in the middle of the road, and is so drawn. So the donkey refused to go. So Balak, whipped his donkey until the angel manifests itself. So he recognized that. And Elisha and his servant, in 2 Kings 6:15-17, when the servant of God got up and went out early the next morning, an army with horses and chariots have surrounded the city. The servant panicked. Oh no, my lord, what shall we do? The servant asked. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. The prophet answered, those who are with us are more than those who are with them. It's familiar scripture in the New Testament. Paul said this as well. And Elijah prayed, open his eyes, Lord, so that he may see. Then the Lord opened the servant's eyes, and he looked. And so the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. The background to this is every time the Assyrians planned an ambush on the Israel, Elisha tells the king of Israel that you're going to get ambushed, so don't go there. And then the king of Assyria found out, so he sent an army, a horde of army, just for the two people, to get two people. So there's a story behind that. Going back to Genesis 6:2-4-5. Now, verse 5, the Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil at the time. And probably the coming of Satan and his fallen angels down to earth made the human race more wicked, that God decided to destroy the earth with flood. The fallen angels fathered the Nephilim, and that's another story, who the Nephilims were. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, and with them the animals, the birds, and the creatures that move along the ground, for I regret that I have made them. Must be so wicked that time, because God mentioned the word regret twice, and God sent the great flood to cover the earth and destroy every living thing. Think about that. I mean, think about the world now. What is it now? So, but we don't know. I mean, we just keep, our Christian walk and be with God, believe Him all the time that He will take us with Him. Because eternity matters. We don't know until the end. We don't know until the judgment day. I mean, as I said, when we die, we just stay dead until the judgment day. And God will, save those who are with Him. Genesis 6:8, Noah found favor in God's sight. That's why we are all here today, because of Noah. God saved Noah and his family. Because why? They worship God. And that made a lot of difference to us all here. Start in the beginning. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, John.